Hey there, this is James Wilson, back with some advanced things that you can do with your fitness foam roller. Now, in my first video, I went over the basics. So we just went over the basics of foam rolling, how to hit the major areas, the calves, hamstrings, glutes, back, and quads. So if you're not familiar with the basics of foam rolling, I recommend you watch that video first, spend some time getting used to that, and then you can start applying some of the other areas and other techniques I'm going to show you in this video. So in this video, I'm going to show you some other areas that you can hit, specifically your lats, rotator cuff, and triceps, and also getting up into the hip flexor and the inner thigh and groin on the legs. And then I'm going to show you an advanced technique that you can use on any muscle group where you tack down a tight spot and use some movement to loosen it up. And then finally, as a little bonus, I'm going to show you how you can use your fitness foam roller to increase your core strength during an extremely common exercise. It's a way to make a really common exercise even more effective and get more core strength out of it. So let's get started. Now, first thing we're going to show you is how to hit your lats, your rotator cuff, and your triceps. So we're looking at this area right here. This is an area that gets really tight for a lot of people. If you have this kind of forward shoulder posture, it gets what's called locked long. We have muscles on the front that get locked short. The muscles on the back actually get locked long, and we need both of them to loosen up before we can get good mobility gains out of that area. So to hit the lats, you're going to get on your side, that arm over your head, and you're just going to roll out on your side like this. So this is your lats. You can work up into the armpit, and this is where the rotator cuff starts to come in. So in the armpit itself, and then actually kind of rotating onto your back a little bit. And this is what will start to allow you to dig into the rotator cuff back there. And then finally, your tricep working up to just above the armpit to just below the elbow. Again, extremely important to get in these areas as you get more advanced with your foam rolling. There's a lot of tension in these areas, and it'll really help open up your shoulders, and also neck issues, things like that can really benefit from opening up this area. So next thing I'm going to show you is how to get into the hip flexor. So last time we went over the quads, just kind of going over the front of the legs. Getting up into the hip flexor area is a little bit more advanced, but pretty simple. So again, getting down on one leg, and then what we're going to do is go all the way up, a little bit higher into the hip flexor, and then stopping just below this hip bone right here. We don't want to go over the hip bone itself. And then stopping at that point, what I like to do is bring one leg back behind me and then bring it back around. And this side to side motion right here allows you to dig into that hip flexor a little bit deeper. So again, another area that gets really tight on a lot of people. So being able to dig in a little deeper and loosen that area up is really beneficial. And then finally, the inner thigh and groin. So laying next to your fitness foam roller, you're going to bring one leg up. You're looking for almost like a 90-degree angle here with your leg and your torso. And then starting all the way down by the knee. We want to start on this big fat muscle right outside the knee. We're just going to roll all the way in to the groin area. And then you can roll back out. But this inner thigh and groin is another area that gets extremely tight and can really affect mobility and performance in a lot of different areas. So one thing with that is just kind of make sure you keep that 90-degree angle with the body. As your leg starts to straighten out, you're going to start to lose some of the being able to get into that inner thigh and groin as effectively. So just kind of watch that as you're doing it. So those are a couple extra areas that you can start getting into. Now, a little more advanced technique that you can use is what's known as tacking down the knot, the adhesion. So let's say, for example, I'm working in my calf and I find a tight spot. Now, instead of just kind of working back and forth, what I can do is actually use a little more weight and tack it down and hold it down and then start to move. Just kind of create some movement with my foot and you'll feel how that starts to work that out. You can just work side to side as well to kind of work that out. So we're just trying to like tack down, hold down, keep pressure on that point, and then use movement and kind of lateral movement to work it out. You can use that on your hamstrings, your glutes, upper back, quads, a good one for the quads especially. So again, getting set. Say I find a tight spot here, so I'm just gonna get all the weight I can on it. Start creating some movement, just bringing the leg up and down, getting that quad doing some movement. Maybe holding it up and then back and forth, side to side like this. Again, just trying to keep constant pressure on that trigger point while using movement and lateral side to side movement to kind of work into it and work it out. So anyway, so that's a little bit of an advanced technique that you can use. And again, that technique with a little bit of thought and imagination, you can apply to just about any muscle that you're foam rolling. Now finally, I promised I'd show you how to use your fitness foam roller to get a little bit more core strength out of an extremely common exercise. And this exercise is the lowly glute bridge. It's this one here where you're on your back, feet about shoulder width apart, and you got your heels about one hand length away from your butt. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna squeeze our butt cheeks, bring our hips up off the ground, and then back down. Now, some people start out with this exercise and then kind of move on because it becomes too advanced. Well, when you use this, it makes it a little bit more, makes it more advanced for them. They move past it because they think they're too advanced for it. So take your fitness foam roller, put it between your thighs. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna squeeze your thighs together and then keep squeezing your thighs as you do your bridge, and then hold 2, 3, and then back down. But you have to keep squeezing the foam roller the whole time. Pretend that someone's gonna come up at any minute and try and pull it from between your legs, and you don't want that to happen as you're doing this. And then keep squeezing on the way back down. So squeeze, up, hold, 2, 3, keep squeezing on the way back down. Now what's happening there, when you squeeze the foam roller, when you squeeze your fitness foam roller between your thighs, you're reflexively activating your core, okay? You can't squeeze your thighs tightly together unless you create a platform with your core to do that. Well, since your core is squeezing, or is tightened up to help with the squeeze, you can't use this area to help with the bridge. So you have to use your hips properly. So this little trick right here forces you to stabilize the core and use your hips more effectively. So again, you're gonna get more out of your glute bridges if you're using them as an exercise. And it also turns this exercise into a really effective warm-up drill for things like deadlifts and swings. In fact, I'll do a set of 5 of these before I do my deadlifts, swings, any sort of like heavy hip hinge exercise like that, to make sure that I've really got my core set and my hips working correctly. So again, just a couple extra uses for your fitness foam roller, a couple extra body parts to hit, a more advanced technique to use on any body part, and then a way you can use it to help you get a little more core strength out of a common exercise, and actually probably help you groove your pattern and get more strength out of exercises like your deadlift and your swing. So a lot of uses out of your fitness foam roller. Again, if you don't have a fitness foam roller by Epitome Fitness, you can get one at Amazon.com, or you can click on the link below this video and get one as well. But again, hopefully you've enjoyed these tips and you get a lot of use out of your fitness foam roller.